Hello. This Apple/Android war is really stupid. There are a lot of people from the Apple fan base that immediately hate on the Android fan base because they say they're poor. Maybe people just don't want to buy a super expensive flagship phone, or maybe they just don't want to buy an expensive phone as their first phone. Maybe they just want to buy a budget phone. I mean, that's a lot of people. I mean, I think a good price range is around $300 to $500 because you still get a lot of bang for your buck. And iPhone and Apple in general just doesn't have a lot of budget options. Maybe in their iPad lineup, but not really in their iPhone lineup. They really only have the SE and like really old iPhones. Meanwhile, Samsung and Android have a lot more budget phones that just have that just are a really good deal. And while iPads are really cheap and have pretty good specs on them, you don't want to carry that around in your pocket. It's just more convenient you carry around a phone. So, yeah. And a lot of people from the Android fan base are hating on Apple because they're saying that app just everyone from Apple is dick riding Apple in general and loving everything they do. And that's not true at all. Apple has made a lot of mistakes, and I do agree that some Apple people just immediately disregard all the opinions and say that, wow, they don't make any mistakes at all. But it's the same thing with people on the Android side. It's both sides. So, yeah, I don't see why a lot of people are just arguing about this when, just be neutral about it. Just say, hey, both of the products are good in their own right. Some people have preferences because at the end of the day, it just comes down to preference. And to prove that I had a preference, but I switched over to Android, I used to prefer Apple products, but we switched over to Android because it's just cheaper. And look at how old this thing is. Look at the bezels. And look at that one camera. Oh boy. But I really liked Apple products back then. They were just very good. They just performed very well. The UI was very simple for my young brain to understand. And yeah, they had decent gaming performance as well. I didn't use the camera that much, so I don't know about the camera. By the way, it's dead. Not dead completely, but I mean, it's just out of battery. So, yeah. But right now, I'm using an Android phone, obviously, and I'm using the A50 by Samsung, and I'm planning on getting a new one because I have a lot of cracks on this phone now since I dropped it a lot, and I'm just planning on getting a new one because this one's just okay. I'm planning on getting the S21 FE, which is about $500, and it's pretty good. It has like really good specs for the price, and the only downside I can see is the backside, which is plastic, and that's really it. But yeah, that's the reason why I switched over to Android. It's just because it's cheaper and it's just more budget friendly than Apple is. I mean, again, at the end of the day, it comes down to preference, whether you prefer the snappier Apple UI or just prefer the look of the Android UI. It all comes down to preference. Don't immediately hate on the other fan base because they're different from you. A lot of people just want to hate on the opposite fan base because, oh no, they're different. And while I do agree that Apple are like overpricing a lot of their stuff. Still, a lot of their products are really high quality. For example, AirPods are pretty good. I've used them a few times because a few friends have like let me test them out, and they're really good. They just sound really good. So yeah, it's not like Apple can't make a good product. It's just that they kind of overprice them a little bit. And yeah, some of the the people in the Apple fandom is what I'm talking about are like pretty crazy for Apple and automatically defend them at any point whatsoever. Even if they make like a huge mistake, they still like disregard it. But it's the same thing with people in like Google, defending Google and stuff like that. There still are people like that on the Android side. It's not just Apple. But yeah, that's it. I'll see you guys later.